What is up, guys? Finally, we are back, and we're going to finish off the 2025 John Cena collection. I know we're pushing into April now of 2026. I apologize for that. And I've had these John Cenas ready and like sitting on my desk for so long trying to get this video done, but I've done a couple other videos, not many. I don't know what it's been, maybe one or two since the last John Cena update. But we're here. We're going to get this banged out, mainly so I can get these cleared off my desk. I'm trying to do some work out here in my toy building to get looking a little nicer out here, and getting these 7 Johns off my desk and put into their final resting place will be a big part of that. So this will be the official wrap on 2025. I do have a handful, maybe a couple, I don't even know. I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 Johns that I've gotten in 2026. That will be for a video at some point, but these 7 will be the end of 2025. This will be the final ones that I got in 2025. Like I said, I know it's been a long time coming, but these are officially what I've finished 2025 with. Anything that you see in the future will have been purchased since January 1st of 2026. These were all acquired before then. So without further ado, let's get this going. Let's get it banged out. We've got 7 today instead of 6, mainly because I had one that I forgot about. And I found it in a box that had just been chilling out here in my toy building. So that is why he was added in, mainly because he was only 1, and I wanted to get them all done in the one video here. So let's get this going. The first one we have is this is from a 3-pack. They did a Walmart exclusive 3-pack that came out towards the end of the year. They called it the Champ is Here 3-pack with John Cena. So there's 3 figures that are all from the same 3-pack that you're about to see. This is the first one. They kind of define or kind of go through John's career in WWE, essentially. This would be like his early days, you know, when he was kind of prototype, kind of towards the end of that prototype run, I feel like. I don't remember him wearing the kind of sweatsuit shorts deal here. I could be wrong. That was also a time where I wasn't like super into watching wrestling, you know, every week kind of thing. So I'm sure he did wear this at some point, and that's where they got it from. But I just usually remember the prototype as the, you know, underwear style trunks with the long boots and that kind of thing is how I remember the prototype. But definitely a cool look, definitely a different look for John Cena that'll stand out on the shelf, in my opinion. So very, very cool there. Now, this is from a 3-pack, so if you know my rules, I've talked about it in the past, I didn't do any 3-packs or more, so the 3-packs, 4-packs, 5-packs, all the different weird packs they've done, I didn't count in my original count of John Cena. But with this being a 3-pack that only had John Cena's in it, I feel like it needed to be part of the count because it was only John Cena. So that's where this one did make the official numbers. I think I'm up to, let me see, actually, I have the list right here. We're up to, there's 239 Johns in my initial list of John Cena's. That's through 2025. So anything that's been announced or will be released in 2026 and beyond has not been added to that list yet. So from the beginning of Mattel in 2010 through the end of 2025, there's 239 John Cena's that I counted for my list. There is more because, like I said, there's the multi-packs and the ring packs and different things like that. But as far as I can tell, they're all pretty much the same as a different figure that came out in either a single or a double pack that was on my list. So I'm going with the 239 for now, and we're just going to kind of stick with that. And then obviously we'll add them as more come out. But yes, there is the prototype kind of style of the John Cena. Next up would be kind of his next move, like where he went to after the prototype, and that would be his Thugonomics wrap gimmick. So that's what we have right here. You know, he's got the Word Life Nux. He's got the spinner belt US title, which does spin. It's kind of hard to tell because of the camera and how I have my setup. But the US thing does spin there in the middle. Still got the visor on, but he does have the chain necklace. So very, very cool here. This is the one that has, I think, the most kind of detail and accessories when it comes to both Nux, the hat, chain necklace, the belt. They really did this one justice, I think. This was my favorite version of John. I always loved this character. I thought he was great. I loved the wrapping. I loved when he wore the jerseys. This one, he's got the camo shirt on, of course, but I loved when he would wear the jerseys and things like that. And he would do the wraps and different things. So this was my favorite version of John. I really liked when he brought that U.S. title, and then he won the world title, and he switched to the spinner. So very, very cool there, like I said. But yeah, that's the kind of Doctor of Thugonomics style John that came in that 3-pack. And then to round off that 3-pack, we've got the modern era John, where he's, you know, the kid-friendly, no more rapping, no more Doctor of Thugonomics kind of style. More of the Fruity Pebble colored look, if you will, that the Rock kind of coined when they were doing their feud. But yeah, there he is right there. So very cool. Again, he still has the necklace. This is the dog tag necklace instead of the chain lock necklace. What does this shirt say? Hustle, loyalty, respect. Yeah, it's just his normal motto kind of thing. But nice to see him in the bright blue. But yeah, very cool there. Really dig this John too. Like I said, it's a more modern John. So I was kind of out of, you know, John wasn't my favorite at this point, just because I thought he was super watered down, and like he had a great gimmick when he was the Doctor of Thugonomics. So I was disappointed when he transitioned to this, but you know, it is what it is. He still had a great career either way. So next up, we have a big one, kind of a really cool one. One that I was excited about. I actually bought 2 of these, so I still have one mint on card, and I have this one that I opened to go into the shelf. And if anybody knows when San Diego Comic-Con is, you'll know how long I've had this figure and just haven't put him in the video. This is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from Mattel this year for WWE. This is the John Cena. So this came out in July of 2025, which is when San Diego Comic-Con is. So I've had this for, you know, 6 months plus, obviously. But yes, very, very cool figure. I really like how they did this. I'm disappointed. I should have grabbed the mint on card one that I have still, but they did it in the classic, like kind of 2010 elite style packaging. He had the different belts and stuff with him. He had the, you know, all the accessories and everything, so you could pose them and set them up however you wanted. But this is an ultimate figure, so very cool there. It's got all the ultimate articulations in the legs, you know, the pinless joints, all that stuff. He's got the toe articulation. So very, very well done there. Very cool figure. Very, very excited that I have 2 of these. One mint on card and one loose here. So very, very excited about that. I really, really like this figure. I'm glad that he was the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Usually I would tend to lean towards San Diego Comic-Con exclusives being a little bit more obscure, maybe. I don't know if that's the right word, but things that you wouldn't normally expect to get. And for example, I have this one right here that they did. This is the No Holds Barred one that they did. I think this was 2024's, if I'm not mistaken. But like, so this is Zeus and Rip, or Hulk Hogan, if you will. But this is the kind of stuff I normally think of from a San Diego Comic-Con standpoint. Something that like is either a risk or maybe wouldn't sell as well at your traditional retail. But your hardcore, you know, diehard San Diego Comic, or your diehard wrestling fans that would pay attention to San Diego Comic-Con, things like that are things they would buy. So that's what I tend to lean towards when it comes to San Diego Comic-Con stuff. But I do think it was a nice honor and a nice tribute that they did it to John in his final year, that they made him the exclusive. So very cool there. I really dig it. Like I said, it was awesome too that they did more of the Doctor of Thugonomics look. I like the shirt, how it says the champ is here with the arrow pointing to the belt. So very, very cool there. Very excited to see that one come out, and very happy that I was able to snag 2 of them. I didn't go to San Diego Comic-Con, so I did get it off of the Mattel Creations website when they posted them. I don't know if it was like actually during San Diego Comic-Con or if they did it a week or 2 after. I can't remember exactly, but it did go on their website for people that weren't able to go, and I was able to snag 2 of them. So very, very excited there. Sorry if you feel like I'm moving a little fast here. I don't want these videos to drag on forever, and I do feel like I'm kind of talking fast, but oh well, I guess that is what it is. I'm not a professional here, you know. Next up is another extra one that I will be adding. So this isn't part of the original 239, but it's one that I really wanted, and I thought it was cool enough but this is the LJN John Cena. So this is from Series 1 of the new Mattel LJNs that they've been doing. So obviously this is way bigger than your actual Elites or basic figures. So he is quite a bit larger, as you can see, but he still is in kind of that 6 to 7 inch scale. He's just a little chunkier and a little beefier. And I did want this to be represented in the collection because it is a Mattel and it is something different that Mattel's been doing. So these are solid rubber. If you don't know what an LJN is, they're toys or the original WWF toys from back in the late 80s, mid 80s. Yeah, mid to late 80s, I'd say, because Hasbro started in, what, 89 maybe, or 88? I don't know. But yeah, so LJN was like mid to late 80s. And they were the original company that made WWF action figures. So now Mattel is kind of going back and kind of recreating some of that magic, if you will. Mainly, I think it was just a ripoff of what the major guys were doing with their big rubber guys. Mattel saw the success there and thought, yeah, we can make some money off of it too. So they started making their own. And of course, John Cena was in Series 1. These again came out in late 2025 or so. So that's where these came from. I believe, as far as I know, these are still just Target exclusives, is that you can only still get these at Target. Series 1 and Series 2 are the only ones that are out so far. I got 3 of the 4 in Series 1, and I haven't gotten any from Series 2. These figures are so large, and they take up a lot of real estate to try to display them, in my opinion, so I'm not kind of jumping all in on them. I even sold off, or I traded off all of my big rubber guys from the major guys, just because they're hard to display. They're big. If you want to keep them mint on card, they take up even more space. So that's why I kind of bowed out. I do have the John. I have the Hogan and the Dusty from Series 1. I may get the Jesse Ventura from Series 2 if I do ever see him, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get him. So that's where the John, that's why I got the John, to have him in this John Cena collection, because, like I said, I wanted to have him represented. So there is the WWE LJN Mattel Series 1 John Cena. So very cool. No articulation. There, like I said, it's just a piece of rubber molded to look like John Cena, essentially. So cool there. Happy to have that one. I'm glad it'll be displayed in my John Cena collection, because I think it deserves a place, just to at least show that Mattel, did the John Cena there. So it's very, very, very happy to have that one. And the next one I have actually looks pretty similar to that LJN John. And this is the Elite Last Time Is Now John Cena. So this is another one that I've had for a long, long time. This actually came out at last year, so 2025's WrestleMania. If you went to WrestleMania and went to the WrestleMania store in Vegas, they had this figure. However, the ones that you bought in Vegas had a different shirt it had this shirt, but then in the package there was an extra shirt. It was like a black shirt that might have said WrestleMania Vegas. I can't remember exactly what it says, but it was a black t-shirt. So you could have either the red shirt on them or the black shirt on them. And that was exclusive to the store in Vegas at the WrestleMania. So I do not have that one. I don't have that one on my list in the 239 either, because it's literally just a t-shirt is the only thing different. The figure in the packaging is dressed just like this, looks just like this in the packaging, and then there's an extra shirt packaged in it. This one, however, was a special release that they did at, I believe it was exclusive to Walmart or Mattel Creations. I think I got mine on Mattel Creations, if I'm not mistaken. But this one came just like this. This is all he had. He was just packaged in the box like this with the shirt. He does have the extra towel in his back pocket that he always would have when he came down to the ring. So this is the figure that came out at WrestleMania time. And like I said, I got this on, I believe it was Mattel Creations. I've seen him at Walmart since then. But this one did not come with that extra shirt. So it's just the red shirt that I have right here. The one that comes with the black shirt is astronomically priced. You're talking over $100 just to get that black t-shirt. If I ever found it for a screaming deal, I would love to have it and display him in that black t-shirt in my collection. But it's not on the list of something that I intend to do or really have a desire to do. Like I said, if I found a screaming deal on it one day, yeah, I'd pull the trigger. But chances of that are slim, because most people nowadays know what they have when they sell things, because you know, research and knowledge is so easily accessible now with the internet. So most people can just do a quick eBay search or a Google search and know that they have something that's valuable. So you don't always find some of those crazy deals as easily. You can still find them for sure, but as easily you don't find them as much anymore. So that's where I don't know that I'll ever have that figure in my collection, which is sad to think about. But at the end of the day, it's not the biggest deal to miss out on basically just a t-shirt. Because like I said, it's the same exact everything except for that extra t-shirt that was packaged in it. But yes, I've had this since, you know, it would have been, what, April or May of last year that I got it. So had that one for a long, long time. Same with the SDC exclusive one. I was thinking at the time, like when I was kind of getting these, that I wanted to do a John Cena collection video of like a bunch of special figures. So I wanted to do like the WrestleMania one, the SDCC exclusive ones. I thought about adding the clear You Can't See Me John into there, which ended up getting its own video that I did. So that's kind of why some of these waited so long, and they've just kind of been sitting around because of that. But now that I'm trying to finish off 2025, they're all kind of just been thrown into their own video. So that was the first 6. And now this last one was one. This is another extra one that wasn't on my list, but it was one that I knew I wanted, and I'd hoped I would get it somehow. And I've talked about him before. It's the guy I met from Chicago that's done some trades with me, and I've got some other Johns from him. I got this one from him as well, but this is the John Cena Target exclusive Elite Hall of Champions. So this one came in a 4-pack, which is why it wasn't on my original list of figures. It came in a 4-pack with, I believe it was Ultimate Warrior, Bruno Sammartino, and Roman Reigns, I want to say was and then John, obviously. Those were the 4 guys in it. Basically the 4 different eras of WWE, you know, Bruno being like way like 70s, 80s, Ultimate Warrior being like later 80s, early 90s, John being like that early 2000s time, and then Roman being your modern nowadays type guy. But so this is like I said, this is the Elite Hall of Champions. This was a 4-pack that was exclusive to Target. The guy I met in Chicago that I've been traded with a few times, I think he had a buddy or something that wanted one of the other figures from the Hall of Champions but didn't want this one. So he traded with him to get this John, and then traded the John to me to get some of the big rubber guys that I had at the time. I sent most of my, basically all of my big rubber guys to him in Chicago for different things. So that's where this John came from. So again, this is another extra one that wasn't a part of my original count. But very, very happy to have this. This is one I knew I wanted because it came out in 2025. So it came out post me starting this challenge. So I knew it was one I wanted. But that 4-pack, I believe, was $70 to get it brand new. And some people found it on clearance for much cheaper. I never did see it for on clearance, but I didn't feel like it was justified for me to pay $70 for just the one John Cena, especially when it's something that's super modern. You know, if we're talking 15 years into the future and this is like a rare vintage piece kind of thing, maybe I would have done it. But it's a tough pill to swallow to want to spend $70 for one like modern brand new figure that's just coming out. So I was very, very happy I was able to get it from him or get it traded and just get the one guy that I needed. Not saying those other 3 guys wouldn't have been cool to have in my collection, especially the Bruno. I don't even know if I have a Bruno in my collection, to be honest, which is a guy that I think deserves to be in my collection. But I'm sure I'll get one eventually, and that, you know, it'll be in the cards one day to have a Bruno Sammartino. But right now, that would be a wrap on the entire 2025 collection of John Cena. That's every John Cena that I was able to collect over the 2025 year. I should have figured this out before. Honestly, I don't know the exact number of how many that I got. Maybe I'll figure that out and I can kind of clip it in here. But I think I got a good start for a year's worth, especially for somebody that's not, you know, overflowing with funds. Obviously, if I was a bajillionaire, I could have just bought them all and been done with it, you know, 239 figures and been done. But I'm not somebody that has that ability. I'm not somebody that has the capability to do something like that. So I think I'm proud of what I was able to accomplish in 2025. I think we have a good start to continue this into the future. I've said in the past, I'm not going to do one of these videos every month or anything like I was, because I have slowed down quite a bit on buying John Cena's. I've still bought some. I've still found some. Most of them are more modern that you can find in stores nowadays that I've bought in. I don't think I've purchased a John on eBay in a while, so that'll have to come in the future while I get some more of the older ones. But we have a good start. I'm excited about where we are. So that's a wrap on the 2025 kind of John Cena challenge. And yeah, I'm excited to finish this off finally. I apologize that it's taken so long. I know it's a shame that it took so long because there's a lot of other videos that I've wanted to make too and just haven't gotten around to it. It's been a crazy start to 2026, but that's, that's life, whatever. It is what it is. So very excited to finally have this done. Hope you enjoyed kind of this 2025 walkthrough or 2025 look at my John Cena collection. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully we'll get some more videos ramped up here and not be so far between videos. But who knows? I can't promise that. It's hard to say things like that when you have 2 little children under 5. They keep you on your toes. So anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you're having a good New Year's, or hope you're having a good 2026, since I haven't had too many videos this year. But I will see you in the next one. Have a good night.